In California, a school district is asking parents to house teachers who can't afford the high cost of living. Dog ate your homework, little Timmy? Well, he shat in my shoes this morning and there was no homework in there. In our top story this week, turns out there actually were nuclear defense documents at Mar-a-Lago. And look, I get it. When I left my last job, the very first thing I did was pack up all the documents containing their proprietary trade secrets and put them in a box next to my Christmas decorations. Why? Because those documents sparked joy. And maybe one day, if we're lucky, a nuclear war. For more on Trump world, without which this show would be 3 minutes shorter, on Monday, Trump held a rally in support of incest advocate Dr. Oz, in which he accused John Fetterman of doing drugs. An accusation Fetterman flatly denied after taking a long hit from a definitely for tobacco only pen, calling Oz and Trump desperate and sad dudes. Awfully prescient words, as the very next day, The Guardian reported that Trump's "Fine, I'll just make my own Twitter project, Truth Social," was revealed to have a money problem in light of all the crimes, investigations, death threats. You get the idea. These accusations were shoved off by the former president, saying he has plenty of money, definitely, which is why he's always fundraising. And his supporters pledged to be behind Trump through hell or Heil Hitler. Funny story, you guys. The IRS oopsie-doodled and leaked about 120,000 people's tax data. Nope, not his, unfortunately. Steve Bannon is getting indicted for fraud. The probable offspring of a roadkill possum and the ghost of Jacob Marley apparently ran a fundraiser to build a border wall, but instead of building that wall, he built himself some yachts. I gotta say, this actually sounds pretty smart, taking money from idiots to spend on rich people stuff. That's why I'm launching the Freedom Liberty Statue Fund. All proceeds will go to building a big statue that symbolizes freedom and liberty or whatever. Also a boat. Boats are very important for statue work. A new book says Trump once tried to pay a lawyer with a horse. Eric Trump has since retired that Halloween costume. A bunch of nutjobs in Idaho are trying to ban books at a local library, but the library doesn't carry those books. Oh, book banners. Let me tell you where you're headed. Uncle Tom's Cabin was once banned. Now it's required reading. Canterbury Tales? Definitely had to read that one in school. Ulysses? Banned. Now required. So if you want lesbians finger-banging each other at a Black Lives Matter riot to be required reading, keep up the good work. A judge has ruled that employers don't have to cover the HIV medication prep if they have religious objections. Next week, the judge is expected to rule that if your boss doesn't eat pork, you can't either. The movie Don't Worry, Darling is generating a lot of buzz, but does the movie itself suck? Our chief movie critic, Jen Haston, is here with her review.
Thanks, Andrea. So this film is the story of two women that hate each other, but they have to pretend like they don't.
Wait, is that right?
And the tension between them is so thick you could cut it with a chainsaw.
I thought it was about something else entirely.
The main plot is very engaging, but the B plot where one guy spits on the other guy just felt completely out of left field. Totally unnecessary.
Jen, are you reviewing the press tour and not the actual movie?
Yeah, haven't seen the movie. Heard it was okay, though.
All right, thanks, Jen. That was productive. Elon Musk criticized the new Lord of the Rings series, saying that almost every male character is a coward and only the female lead is brave. This is in stark contrast to Elon's own hero's journey, where he impregnates lots of women and bravely moves on to tweet bullshit from his private jet. You can watch all the action in his new series, The Lord and His Thing, The Search for Baby Mamas. Let's cheer ourselves up with some climate news now. The California power grid was on the verge of failure this week due to an extreme heat wave. ERCOT responded by suing them for copyright infringement. And in Antarctica, scientists say a so-called doomsday glacier is holding on by its fingernails, which may sound like bad news, but I don't know, we think it's kind of nice that nature's so relatable right now. Hang in there, babe. It's suspected that the lettuce used by Wendys has led to an E. coli outbreak. Many of Wendy's loyal customers were shocked to find out that they had been eating a vegetable during their visits. Wendy's is moving quickly to remove all non-meat items from its menu and invites customers to try their new deep-fried cow slurry salad. Do you find our system of government dysfunctional at best and nightmarishly dystopian at worst? Try Wild Gins. It'll calm you right down, especially after that second one. Wild Gins. Let's navigate this nightmare hellscape together. Russia has sanctioned 25 Americans, one of whom was Ben Stiller. Why would Russia go after him? Turns out they thought his film Permanent Midnight about a heroin-addicted writer was too cheerful. Russia also announced that they'll be buying military supplies from North Korea. North Korea has assured the world that Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un personally designed and built all those weapons when he was 3 years old, having just mastered golf. In refreshing news, no one had sex at a Major League Baseball game this week, or at least no one was caught having sex. They all just sat there and watched the baseball and didn't have sex. Some of our writing staff can relate to this. And finally tonight, a religious school apologized after baptizing over 100 students without telling their parents. One family was apparently worried because their child had already been baptized, and they were worried that the second baptism might undo the first one. Yeah, then you got to do a third baptism to get the Holy Spirit back in there, but is it diluted at that point because it's already hopped in and out so many times? So maybe you do a fourth baptism, but does that add more Holy Spirit, or does it knock out the third one and then you're back at 0 again? Can you only have an odd number of baptisms? This whole thing is a mess. That wraps up this week's episode of the Friday Fenix. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye!